Katie. She's like, what? I'm like, I peed Coca-Cola. She's like, what does that mean?
Is that really what you said?
Yeah. She's like, what does that mean? I'm like, nothing. Just means probably got a laceration or, you know, because I'd been here before. And I was like, I'm okay. It's not bad. And then the next day, it turns into tadpoles where you pee little blood tadpoles because it clots.
Oh my God. I turned it on.
You did.
We're on.
Are we?
Yeah. You were still checking the cameras and the cables.
I think we're on.
The show must go on, Jason.
Okay.
We are on air.
You put me under pressure. Okay, we're good.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a hectic day, but I'm doing all right.
Right?
Yes.
Fathers.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like, whatever. We woke up this morning in Santa Rosa,
Yeah.
Northern California, to my daughter texting, I'm going to fill in for this girl who's in the play today instead of next weekend because she's sick. And then it was like, it never ends. You don't get a Sunday morning.
No.
No.
No, I don't. Yeah.
I was like, okay, we'll make sure you get there and I'll pick you up there and it'll be all right. Woo! So that's where I'm going, straight from here.
To a play.
Flew home from Santa Rosa to come here for you guys.
That's right.
For your entertainment, and then going straight down there to get her from the performance. I can't watch it.
Why
It's
not?
happening right now.
Why can't you? Oh, because you have to do this.
Yeah, but I'm watching her. I'm watching
She's
her.
got 2 shows.
Yeah, she's doing a performance next weekend,
Right.
and I'm watching that one. That's my life. There you go.
That's the one you said you were going to be at, and you're going to be at.
That's the one.
Right.
It's my night.
Well, good luck with that, dude.
That's the same night that I am giving, during the day, I'm giving Kid Cudi skate lessons.
He is coming here.
He's coming here. Yep.
Is he going to bring a lot of people?
I don't know. I started thinking about that.
It'd be weird if he came without a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I don't know Kid Cudi. Is Kid Cudi a guy with a posse or is he not?
I feel like I know he wants to document this.
So there'll be filmers.
So someone's going to be filming it.
Right.
And I doubt he's just got some renegade crew like I would have.
Yep. He's probably pretty organized.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I just assume that rappers pay the most for filming and stuff. He's a rapper, right?
He is a rapper, yes. He is an artist, a musical artist.
That's better, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that music will get, because, we get older and you kind of start to go, like your parents are like, what is this shit you're listening to? And I go, because you're so out of touch, you just don't get it. And then now I listen to music where I'm like, what is this shit you're listening to? And I say to myself, are you incredibly old, Jason, and you don't get it? Or is it shit?
I think it's more the first, but I think it's a combination of the two.
It's got to be a little bit of a combination, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like there's music before my time that's old people's stuff.
It's not our generation either. Like my son Spencer, he makes hyper pop music and he has a following. Guppy, anyone out there? Yes, he's my son.
His name is Guppy.
Yeah. Gupi.
The artist known as Guppy.
The artist known as Guppy. And he's had some hits.
And he's had hits.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah.
Like hits on YouTube?
He and
like
his buddy
is it a video?
Frax, he and his buddy Frax did a song called Thos Moser that blew up. And shockingly.
When you say blow up, like what are we talking? Million hits or?
Yeah. Millions.
On YouTube or on Spotify?
On Spotify, and they made a video. The video kind of went viral too. So, yeah.
The music video went viral.
Yeah, it's great.
What kind of music is it?
Hyperpop. Well, that's kind of the label they've settled on. Everyone's got different versions of what it all is.
Is hyperpop a thing?
So I got to see this sort of, I got to see the roots of it because he was doing these super underground shows. One time he came out to New York when we were having our foundation event there. and they had one of the first hyperpop gatherings on like the 6th floor of this, Manhattan building. Just felt like a very warehouse vibe.
Yeah.
And you could just feel the energy, and there was something different about the crowd, about the vibe. Like it was just its own thing for sure. Kathy says the same thing, like, oh, this is like a whole new movement. And now we see it's kind of blown up. I'd say that the most successful, and I don't want to speak out of turn or insult anyone, but the most successful band from that genre has been 100 Gex.
Yeah.
You haven't heard 100 Gex opened up for Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, shit.
So it's working.
And it's hyperpop.
Hyperpop, yeah. But,
it's pop music.
I don't.
Why the pop?
I don't.
Hyper is, aggressive pop music?
I would say it's aggressive, yes. It's fast, yeah.
Fast digital music.
Fast digital music, there you go. That's a pretty good, that's a safe
hyperpop is, I don't get it. But
summary of it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what I potentially could be listening to. So it's like digital thrash music.
Kind of, yeah.
Is there drum beats?
Yeah.
Are they fast?
Yeah, I mean, Spencer is extremely talented. Like, he's been working on music programs, Pro Tools and stuff. I'm not sure what he uses now, but he's been doing that for a long time. And so he's a maestro of doing it all on a computer and laying it out and sequencing and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is that his job?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a musician.
Yeah.
And so's Riley.
So is Riley's a musician, among other things, yes.
But he has that as well.
Yeah, I mean, all like...
how come you don't play music?
I mean,
you're violin. Yeah. But how good...
And I sing guest vocals on punk tracks that you hate.
do. And you've done great. You've done great. I've heard way worse, I'll tell you that. Every time I see you sing.
So Keegan shreds guitar. Calvin is super good at drums and piano. And he's in a band, Internet Hotel. There you go. Here's all the bands that my kids are involved in. Internet Hotel, and then Riley's in Warish, obviously.
Warish,
yeah.
Sick. I'm more into Riley's music, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely your type of genre.
It sounds like a cool name too. I want to hang out with those guys.
They haven't played recently though. They went on tour last year. It was all COVID. It was weird. So
has Riley got a new video part out or something?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
It's good. Big deal.
I had 3 different people text me for the day it came out. Non sequitur, just, man, your son's really good at skateboarding. Like all the same texts from all these different random people.
Yeah. Right. I got you.
And I was like, which one?
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
They all good at skateboarding. He is exceptional. And
seems like that.
Yeah. So I just went up to, that's where I was in Santa Rosa. We went to this restaurant called Single Thread.
Yeah.
We've gotten to know the chefs there. It's one of the high-end, crazy Michelin star restaurants, like always in the top, whatever.
How do you become friends with them?
They offered to do fundraising for the foundation because Kyle, the main chef, it's him and his wife, but he used to skate a lot in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And so he has an affinity to skateboarding. He likes our foundation, skateboard project. So he's had a couple things, events that were fundraisers, and the money went to our foundation.
Okay.
And then invited us up. And so I've been several times, but it's a mission. I mean, we got to fly to Northern California for dinner.
That's a mission.
It's full on, yeah. I mean, a lot of people think that's just extravagant and crazy and extreme. And I agree. But also when you're into that kind of food and it's available, like to get reservations, it's impossible.
Wow.
So we got reservations. But this time, because I had brought Riley the last time we went, this was Riley's dinner. He set it up. So he brought his girlfriend and then his homies, one of their girlfriends, and then he invited Kathy and me.
Yeah.
We were the tag-alongs.
And did that make you think something? Were you suspicious?
Maybe.
Yeah. That is a weird thing to have that much organization from the youth.
Yes.
Where you're going to...
He's going to be 30 this year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man, you had him young,
30,
huh?
Yeah. Yeah, when he turned 24, I said, Riley, imagine you have a kid right now. That was me.
Yeah. Yeah, I freak out on that too.
Yeah.
I know. My dad was 20 and my mum was 16. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, that's next level.
I would not have made it.
That's
I mean,
next
I guess
level.
you kind of just
you make it work. Yeah.
Right.
And you definitely suddenly it's like, oh, you have to provide for someone.
Right.
You make it happen.
Right. And you can't have a bad day, like a couple bad days. You're like, that's it. I quit being a father. Like,
yeah.
You have
Some
to.
people do.
Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah. We don't.
No, we don't. We don't ever. Yeah. He won that bike, the bet. So he's got that bike that I bought him.
Oh, I saw that.
Suron, I think
The
it's
thing
called.
looks really fast.
Dude.
It's a little scary. Well, I saw him swerving and I was like, whoa, that thing could.
I actually said something yesterday. He was like, I found a jump. Come film me. I'm like, okay. So I go to film him where he found some jump in a park. And then he does the jump. I film it a bunch of times. And then he leaves and he comes flying past me out onto the road. Not out into where the cars are, but I was like, dude. I'm like, please slow down a little bit. You're going to hurt yourself or somebody else. And right as I said that, I was going past a couple that were walking their dog. And they were like, yes, good job, father. Like I could tell somebody had to say it.
Yeah.
And then it made me feel.
And it was better for you to say it than anyone else.
Yeah. Way better. Yeah. But that bike does trigger people. And I kind of understand why. It's a little aggressive. And in Hermosa, there's, the boardwalk and people have e-bikes, but nobody has. It's an electric dirt bike, dude. Like, it does 55 mile an hour. It's an electric dirt bike. So I went on it the other day with Katie just to ride his bike, see what it's like. And went past a park that has like these big grass bumps. And I was like, oh shit. So did a couple of jumps. And then when I
Did Tiger see you do the jumps?
No, he wasn't with me.
Oh.
Yeah. Otherwise he'd be on it. He's not going to let me use it. So I did a couple of jumps and then I pull off to the side and some old guy goes, hey man, what you doing? There's kids out here. And I was like, what kid? I was like, fuck off, dude. And he's like, what? I'm like, fuck off. Like, I'm not a 12-year-old. Fuck you. Like, I don't answer to you, dude. And he looked so surprised.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. Like,
how dare you stand up for yourself?
Yeah. I'm like, no.
And speak the truth.
Yeah. I was like, look, I didn't get into it, but I'm like, I didn't jump. If I jumped over a child, then you should tell me to watch what I'm doing. But there's no child here.
Wow.
What are you saying? But he was not happy with me. And that made me not want to use that bike anymore because you can tell older people, the Karens of the world, they see that and they want to make a citizen's arrest.
So the kids, when they were home for college for the summer, we have a couple of Super 73s.
Yeah.
But not the kind with the shocks.
With the suspension?
Yeah, with the suspension. So it was just, it's one, they're mainly for transportation. One is for Katie to go to school. Every time I go in the garage, they're unplugged, firstly. Like, why charge them again?
Yeah, what?
I know. And then one has just the seat, this part of the seat is clearly just been turned vertical and scraped along, like someone's doing wheelies and blowing it, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're just scraping along.
Yeah.
Then there's all this mud and mulch in the spokes.
Yeah. So they've crashed it into the dirt.
Yeah, like I don't even know where they would be going around our neighborhood to do all this. I mean, there are some places. And then by the end of the summer, I walk out, the front forks are broken off.
The bike is broken.
Yeah.
And no one said, hey,
no one says anything.
They just put it in the garage.
Yes.
Hopefully when I come back, it'll be fixed.
And then the stories like kind of morph and change a little bit, but then finally it's like, oh, we were jumping this thing and it broke.
Right.
Yeah. And then we had to walk it back here.
Boo-hoo.
No, but you know what I mean? Like you can't just say, oh, I don't know what happened and it was like that.
Yeah. Oh, it was not
like
rideable anymore.
It was not rideable. Someone broke it.
You knew you broke it.
Yes.
You knew you broke it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get I actually had, my daughter had some friends over and it was, I think Katie went away. So I was like cleaning the house and now I kind of clean a little bit more than I used to. and I come down and they've ordered food and cooked. So there's 3 frying pans and a pot, all dirty on the stove. All this fast food everywhere, nothing in the trash, all water bottles not in recycling in the other trash. And I come in and I'm like,
are we just gonna have domestic pet peeves right now?
yeah, I guess. But I just remember trying to explain to him, I'm like, could you do anything? As summer comes to an end and we enter fall, keep your balls clean and fresh just in time for fresh ball fall. The leader in Below the Belt Grooming is here to make sure your pubes feel smoother than a beach ball and smell fresher than your girl's pumpkin spice. Start the new season the right way and join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the exclusive offer for 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code HawkWolf at manscaped.com. Get 20% off, everybody, free shipping and with the code HawkWolf at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, everybody, free shipping with the code HawkWolf at manscaped.com. Keep things smooth and fresh as we say sayonara to smooth ball summer and into the fresh ball fall. Oh, mate, Jason Ellis here, Hawk versus Wolf, talking to you about BetterHelp. Sometimes reaching out to somebody and talking to somebody can go a long way and help you with your life, with your family, with your work, with everything. Make your life easier. Who doesn't want to have their life be a little bit easier? And there's never been an easier way to get help by using BetterHelp. It's you can call somebody, you can be on the phone, or you can be Zoom. If you don't like your therapist, you can get another one. It's the fastest growing thing out there, and take care of yourselves and use it's very easy, and we'll give you a code so you get a discount on helping yourself. Now I'm helping you. Let me help you. When you visit, you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/Hawkwolf today and get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Hawkwolf. Like, is there any?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, are you doing it on purpose? Like,
or just wipe something to look like you made an effort.
Yeah, just put right there. Yeah. Just put it in there. And who cooks and gets Postmates?
Well, that's not surprising.
Okay, yeah. But just so many different things were.
All right, my pet peeve, I'll let it go, is when they have crews over, because we get a couple of boxes of Liquid Death every month, right?
Yeah.
Which usually should last our family, even if no one, even when they have friends over, we get plenty.
Yeah.
I come downstairs, it's like that, like just food, wrapping, whatever, pots and pans. But my pet peeve is these are everywhere with this much sipped out of it.
Me too.
What the hell is that?
Full cans of water on the table.
So and like Kathy and I come down, because we always wake up early. We come down, we get to survey the wreckage from whatever.
Yeah.
And then we're getting coffee, and I'm just like, there's usually 5 or 6.
Next to each other.
Sure, or just scattered around the house. But it's like, okay, so you opened it, you walked into a room, and that's it.
And then
you go open another one?
Then you walked over to the fridge and got another one.
Yeah, I guess
went into another room, had a sip of that, and left that there. It must be what they do.
I
know it looks like beer, but it's water. You're not supposed to lose your mind.
I mean, other drinks too. I mean, through the years, especially sodas, always just
everywhere.
You open that can of soda to have a sip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Parents out there are like going, "Yep, I know what you're talking about." Other people are like, "What's wrong with you guys?"
It's remarkable how
it is remarkable
you are. If I had to guess, it's almost like you did it on purpose. Because how could you accidentally be that much of a prick? Like, how could you open one and then put it there, and then open another one, put it right next to it, and then grab another one and go upstairs?
This is yesterday. That's so dumb. Yesterday, I come into the house, and there is a trail of water going up the stairs. And then I'm like, okay, maybe Kathy was carrying something wet. I don't know, whatever. And then I follow it upstairs, and then it goes right into my daughter's room.
What is
Kenny,
it?
were you carrying something? Oh, yeah, sorry, my hands were full. But like she knows she did it.
But just leave it there.
Yeah, I get that's the psychology. That is just like, wait, no.
No, that's somebody's gonna clean that up. Not me,
No.
but somebody's gonna.
No, she did. To her credit.
Okay.
Well, only after I
After you brought it up.
complained loudly to a closed door.
What is that? I guess it's
Our
cool.
reality show would be so boring.
Just you complaining about people destroying your house all day?
Not even that. Just it's just such minor stuff. It's just like, oh, can you not do this? It's between that and trying to plan travel.
Yeah, because you do that a lot.
Dude, we have 6 kids that are all autonomous in terms of like they all can travel and do stuff and whatever, and some live in other places, and so it's always like we're trying to do something together. I'm a travel coordinator. I'm a travel agent.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then some of them are not very responsive, and so as the days pass, when they don't reply or tell me how they want to go or what days they want to go,
Yeah.
then it gets more expensive and less available.
Yeah, but they don't care.
No.
You'll figure it out, Dad. It's like, I feel like until you're about 18 to 25, depending on who you are, you're kind of like a little Axl Rose, where you just walk around expecting everybody to pick up.
But the onus is on us for making it so easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not just their fault. It's because we did coddle them.
Right.
And make it okay for them to be like that. Like I definitely... I take a lot of the blame.
Yeah. Yeah. I have the same story, so obviously I have the same, I have to take the same rap.
Yeah.
Because, where did they get that from? Where did they get the inclination?
But also there's no consequence, because if you didn't do it, we're still going to go get the flights.
Yeah.
It's going to cost me more.
Right. If you were like, oh, you didn't get back to me, you're not going.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do that.
That.
I can't do that. I want to do that. That would be the right thing to do.
Dude, our generation.
But now they're not with us.
Yeah, our generation.
And I really wanted them to come.
Our parents were like, yeah, you're not going.
Yeah. Oh, dude, flying me somewhere? Was,
no.
It wouldn't matter if I was right there I'll go this day at this time. No problem. They'd be like, I'm not flying you, you shithead. You know how much money it is for a flight to anywhere? Like, no way. I remember getting a bus to Queensland because they were like, yeah, right. I'm fucking paying for a ticket. And it was 24 hours in a bus. And it was, I think I was probably 16, and it was so brutal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I wasn't mentally prepared to sit in a chair for 24 hours without, this is before phones.
Right.
It was just for 24 hours. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go insane. And then I broke my, I was going to get the bus, and I fell in a bowl and broke my wrist and my arm and shot my elbow out of the back of my...
After the bus ride?
Yeah.
When you got there?
Nah, I was there for the full week. And then when I was going home that day, I shattered my arm and made my elbow come out like compound fracture. Real bad. 6 months before I could straighten my arm. Like, it was a big deal. It actually helped my skateboarding.
Did you have to take the bus back?
No. I pulled a sympathy and convinced my dad to fly me home, because I was like, come on, you can let me stay in a bus for 24 hours with a broken arm? And he was like, yeah, all right, I'll fly you home. So it worked out.
That's pretty extreme.
Kind of. But it helped me.
Yeah.
Because it was my front arm, and I was in the middle of learning. I was at the point where it was time to start doing aerials above the coping, and all I could do was, there was a roll-in on my home ramp, and I would go down the roll-in and grab my board indie on the flat and then do an indie air, around coping.
Right.
And then I started to learn backslide airs, and then I shattered my arm so it wouldn't bend. So I started doing indie airs higher from this roll-in, so I could do like a foot-high indie air. And if you do a foot-high indie air early grab, that's about as big as you can get on vert when you do an early grab, because you're going to start to go upside down, or it's just not a good vibe. So once my arm straightened, I'd been doing these indie airs for 6 months.
Right.
And then when I could grab my nose, I just started flying in backslide airs, because I'd put in all this.
Oh, you were like doing, it's like working out with weights, or like swinging a bat with a weight on it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's
because
easy.
backs it is.
Right.
I was probably 3 feet
Grabbing
in the
late.
first day because
Yeah.
I'd been putting my head up my own ass trying to get air.
Yeah.
And then I finally could like lean back and do it.
So I did, the Huck Jam. You were there actually. And I bring this up because we just had to find the footage. When we did the outdoor ones, so the Huck Jam, when we did it, it was just the demo ramp and one motocross jump, not the arena tour. The one that you were announcing.
Yeah.
And I separated my shoulder in Jersey. You probably don't remember, but I did a backside air. It was super windy, like one of the craziest windy demos we've ever done. So as soon as you take off from the coping, your board's probably going to fly away from you.
Right.
Or
you're going to get blown
You're going to
somewhere.
get blown out to the flat. I did a melon grab, and it caught my board as I was letting go, and my board started to kind of flip, and I was all systems go landing.
Oblivious to it.
Oblivious, yeah, probably like 5 or 6 foot melon grab. And then all of a sudden, I'm just on my shoulder in the flat, and I thought I dislocated my shoulder just because of the way it felt.
Yeah.
That's why it drops right here.
Oh, you got the bird perch from that slam.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a moto thing. All motocross guys have uneven shoulders.
So what I learned then was, and the reason I bring it up because I might do this project where they want me to go over that slam and what happened after it. But I will go on the deck and I feel like my arm's going to fall out.
Yeah.
Like it just feels so weak. And Dennis McCoy is like, dude, you separated your shoulder. Just points at it.
No, this is Dr. Dr. Skateboarder. It applies to all action sports.
Well,
Dr.
BMXers
action
for
sports.
sure.
Especially him.
Yeah, DMC. So he's like, I go, what does that mean? He goes, oh, nothing. It's just going to look weird. I go, yeah, but what about, he's like, yeah, it's probably going to hurt. Should I do tricks and stuff? I'm like,
because
cool.
Because that's a guy that's broken it more than
Yeah.
once and then done a contest or a demo.
So I did like one trick grabbing. I think I even did a McTwist, and I just felt my tendon stretching out as I did it, thinking it's gonna disconnect from my body. And so I was like, oh, I'm not doing that again. And then the rest of the tour for about 2.5, 3 weeks,
Use your backhand only.
I only grabbed Indy.
Right.
And I remember I just remember thinking like, oh man, the show has to go on. I got to do this. And I wonder if anyone's going to notice. I mean, for sure. But
I mean, we did.
it was so weird though, to be like setting up with Indy airs and only considered, grabbing stalefish, Indy tail, crail. But by the end of the tour, I was able to grab again. I remember the last 2 demos, I could grab that because I had kept it so close to my body the whole time. But it was so weird. The best part about Huck Jam was that we have so many routines. All I had to do was be in the right place at the right time. It didn't really matter what tricks I was doing.
Right. Kind of. I slammed motocross riding once, and Tara Dakitis was there, pro snowboarder, and I hit my stomach and like lacerated some stuff inside, and I was spitting up blood. And I'm like, man, I think I hurt something. And they're like, oh yeah, why? And I'm like, I'm spitting up blood. And Tara goes, show me. And I'm like, show you what? She's like, show me how much blood you spit up. So I spat, and she goes, that's not that bad. You'll be all right. And I was like, how do you? She's like, oh no, I've done it where, if you spit up a certain amount, then you should probably go because you're bleeding internally. But that's just like you've just like injured it slightly. I went and got it looked at, and she was right.
Oh, wow.
Like I wasn't bleeding internally, but I had lacerated. That's what it was. Lacerated kidney. I don't know, something, one of those organs.
That's pretty serious, Jason.
Well,
Laceration.
It was not that bad, according to Tara Dakitis. She was right. She was spot on. It wasn't that bad, but I remember being a bit scared, Like I was like, what's that? And then I'm like, oh man, that can't be good. That's not that much blood. There'd be much worse there'd be much more blood if it was bad.
Wow.
Because that's
I don't think I would ever tell someone it's going to be okay if they're spitting up blood.
I'd rather
she went through it. I get it, but I would still be like, hey, you might want to go check that out.
I think she was. Well, I also broke both my elbows and separated my shoulder, so we were going regardless.
Oh, I see.
But that part, because that was the
Okay.
bit where, you know, you
Got
worry
it,
about
yeah.
your organs more
Yeah,
than
yeah,
your,
yeah, yeah.
like if I break my arm, I'm like, I broke my arm. I'm not going to die from a
Right.
broken arm. But when you spit up blood, I'm like, something in my organs is bad.
Here's a new thing.
What?
No, I'm just saying, like,
Oh.
that's new.
It was. It was.
Yeah.
It was new. Same
That's
in
scary.
boxing. A couple times I've been hit in the stomach and then I peed blood. But then it happened a couple times where it's not blood. It comes out. It looks like Coca-Cola. So, I knew enough because it had happened to me maybe 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
But I fought at a Ellis Mania where I was fighting 10 people again, 1 minute each. And the day before, I just picked them out of the crowd. So I only picked really big people
Yeah.
because I didn't want to seem like a bitch. And I got knocked out in the first round and kept fighting. And I was like, wow, I got caught. You know what I mean? And my ref is my friend. He's like, you okay? And I'm like, I guess. And then at one point, this dude's hammering me. So I have to keep my hands up. And he's like, I'll just hit the body. And I'm like, I can't take another headshot.
Yeah.
So I'll just let you hit my body.
Oh my God.
And, the event goes, hey, thanks everybody for coming out. Hey, we're going to meet you at the after party. And I'm like, cool. Go to my room. This is back in the Hard Rock days where the Hard Rock would give me a crazy room every year. So I had a balcony with an outdoor jacuzzi. So, I think Katie had got me a drink or something and people were getting organized. They're like, let Jason hang out in the jacuzzi by himself. He did just fight 10 people and he got knocked out in the first round. Like, give him a minute before you go to the after party.
Yeah.
So I get in the jacuzzi and I'm like, man, that was tough. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh man, I need to pee. I'm like, I don't want to walk. I was naked too. And I was like, I don't want to go back in there. There's all people there. I was like, I'll just pee out of the jacuzzi. Like, fuck it. And I put my dick out of the side of the jacuzzi and start peeing. And it's Coca-Cola. Wow. And I'm like, Katie. She's like, what? We're going to pee Coca-Cola. She's like, what does that mean?
Is that really what you said?
Yeah. She's like, what does that mean? I'm like, nothing. Just means probably got a laceration or, because I'd been here before. And I was like, I'm okay. It's not bad. And then the next day, it turns into tadpoles where you pee little blood tadpoles because it clots.
Oh, my God.
Is that too much for Hawk versus Wolf?
No, that's just frightening. It's not too much.
It is a little bit.
That's hardcore.
But I think
is that supposed to be like blood clotting then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know, right?
I guess that's good.
I wish I liked golf. I just don't. I wish I could just be like, man, I can't wait to get to the...
Tara, she and I hosted this show called MXC. If you ever saw MXC, it was...
I feel like I'm...
Most Extreme Elimination Challenge. Do you know what that is?
No, but I just hate television for that. Like,
No. What it was on comedy. I think it was on Comedy Central. No, it was on Spike TV.
Yeah, they loved action sports.
And it was a show that would happen like in the late 80s, early 90s in Japan, where they would do these crazy, and then they had the funny voiceovers, right? Yeah. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
So I was a fan of that show.
Me too.
My kids, Keegan was like 3 or 4, and Spencer was probably 5 or 6. They used to call it just the funny show.
Yeah.
What's the funny show?
It's hilarious.
What's the funny show?
They roll the big boulders down the thing and people try to get past them and they get hit by a boulder.
They get destroyed.
Yeah, like actually kind of wrecked.
But the VOs that they would do, because it was an existing show, they would just play the show as is and then have Americans do the voiceovers that were just ridiculous.
It was a great combo.
It was Guy Ledouche. That was one of the so we used to watch it and then I did a couple things with Spike and I told them I was a fan of the show and whatever. And they're like, oh, we're going to do a show. Like we're going to make up the show. How do I explain it? We're going to do an episode that's new with college kids.
Okay.
And we're going to make the challenges. This is way before what's that show now that they already have it, where people are climbing and running.
There's a couple now.
Okay. Well,
but they wanted you and Tara to be the hosts.
To be the host and to be like sort of the team captains for and people were and the auditions were just come get crazy.
Were you there for the auditions?
No, But
because that would have been even better. I would have rather.
we got like some of the people just weren't even they weren't talented or skilled.
Yeah.
They were just wild, and
Yeah.
they were trying anything. So they're like, yeah, you're in.
Okay.
You know, like, oh, you'll stand and get hammered with this thing and fall 20 feet to the water.
You're
Cool.
in. Right.
You're in. So
Wipeout. Is that what it was called?
Wipeout is the
One of them.
is like the newer one.
Right.
But this was pretty OG. It was
Okay.
really funny. So anyway, and that was right when I was getting over my pelvis.
Okay.
So I
you
just
were.
started like kind of walking normally, but I was so hyped to do the challenges.
You wanted to do it.
Yeah, and
You didn't do it.
wouldn't let me.
Right.
But then finally I just like ran like there were these big rollers over a thing of water.
Yeah.
And so you'd have to run on the rollers and try to keep going and
Yeah.
and no one could do it. And I was like, there's no way it's that hard. It can't be that hard.
But you can barely run at the
I
time.
could enough. Like
Okay.
I knew I could make the distance.
Okay.
And so finally I just was like that they were waiting in between people or in between teams, and Tara and I were standing there, and I just dropped the mic and I ran across them.
And made it.
I made it, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were so mad.
When somebody gets mad at Tony Hawk when they've hired Tony Hawk to be the host.
They were just like, hey,
How's
you
the
cannot.
mad?
Well, because, and it was weird because I feel like there was a transitional time in television. So this is probably around 2004, 2005, where super dangerous stuff like that, no one was really being liable for it, and they were allowing it to go on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But you had to wear a helmet.
Okay.
That was the whole thing.
Did you have a helmet on?
I didn't, because I just did it spontaneously and I ran across the
Hell
thing.
yeah.
Right? Yeah. So they were mad about that. They were like,
Shouldn't
we
have
can't.
knuckled you for that.
I don't
Sorry.
even know if they showed it. It wasn't. If you saw it, you'd be like, dude, it's not that hard.
It's not. Even if you did it wrong, you wouldn't have got hurt.
You just,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know, and then you'd like slip in between them, and they
And
would be
fall into the water?
fall into the water. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they did.
And
how
then
mad?
Tara was going to come behind me, and they stopped her. And I
They
felt bad
actually
for
like
her.
got in front
Yeah,
of
they're
her.
like, no, you guys can't. And she's like, ah.
You know I don't know what the other one's called. American Ninja, I think it's called.
Yeah,
But
that stuff's hardcore though. That's, I mean,
the Jason Ellis show got invited to go there. And then at one point they were like, yeah, you guys can try it. And I'm like, oh shit, the whole show can.
yeah.
So both co-hosts and the executive producer and myself, and it's nighttime and that water's freezing.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I'm like, I don't really want to do this that much because I'm not going to make it. Like this is real athletic stuff.
Yeah.
But the first one is those little, you run on the little stools all the way and then jump and swing onto the other thing. So it's just there. I can tell by looking at it that they're staggered, not the same distance. Like
Right.
the last three are further apart.
Yeah.
So I'm like eyeing it up, and I rolled my ankle the day before, so I couldn't really like stay on my toes. But I was like, whatever, I'll just heel. I'll put my heel on it, you know. And somebody made it. Kevin made it to the other side, so I was like, you have to make it.
Yeah.
And my foot missed and slipped to the side and then ragdolled around the pole.
Ugh.
I didn't get hurt.
Okay.
But I just immediately in the water, freezing my ass off, out of the water, over the barrier, and into my car. Like, bye. And drove off wet. Like, just like out of this place. But I actually thought it was kind of dangerous. Like, there were a couple things there where I was
so
like,
this one was okay. So for instance, the one I did was way more goofy.
okay.
It wasn't. I mean, I've seen those American Ninjas where they got a pole and they got to like
Yeah,
work
yeah.
their way
There's
up.
no
That
way
stuff's
I'm
right.
making it up
or
that.
some giant vert wall,
Yeah,
oververt
running
wall.
up. Yeah,
That's the only thing I could think I could do.
right. Because you and I know how to run up transitions.
Yeah, and is my skateboard on top? I'll go get it.
Right.
That would be my motivation. But
I feel like because I can tell some people miss it because they miss where to get the traction.
yeah.
Because they're kind of
Yeah.
just running frantically. So but I also feel like my athletic abilities are gonna slow me down on that.
Oh, for sure. I can't imagine I'd do anything
can't
else.
get high
but
speed.
I would get that one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and just straddling it. But what was I gonna say? With this one, for one of the challenges was here are 4 doors, right? So there's just a prop, wooden thing. Here are 4 doors. Break through one of the doors.
But one of them's got something bad, or
Yeah, it's a wall.
so if you run into it, it doesn't. Oh, you just bounce off it.
Yeah, but people
depending
are-
on how
people
hard
are-
you hit it,
They're going.
right?
They
So-
think they need force to go through the ones that aren't walls, but they don't.
Okay, so
So they're coming in hot, like a football, someone linebacker or
Yeah.
something. They're coming in, and then they get destroyed.
Yeah.
One dude was so big that he actually broke through the makeshift wall.
He made it through.
He made it through, yeah.
And they were like, wrecked as well?
I guess that counts?
Yeah, if you make it through, you make it through.
So I went and I caught the behind the wall. Like I got a sneak of behind the wall.
So you knew which one
it was? Yeah. And so when I was announcing and they were done, I was like, I'm going. They're like, no. And then I did a front flip into the one that I knew was paper, but I was still scared.
Because you could have been wrong.
I mean, I saw it. I made sure, but it was still, there was a chance, yeah.
Has anybody ever, like, when it comes to doing these shows and you doing things where they don't want you to do it, has anyone ever got, like, really angry? Or have you ever been in, where someone's flipping out on you kind of thing? From these shows?
I've just been asked sternly not to do stuff. Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Because wasn't there one... Oh, no, where you were doing a signing or a red carpet and it's one of your sponsors, the lady was there like hounding you to do stuff and was like, you cannot do that. You can do this. You need to do that. It was like you had like a hotel sponsor, I think. I don't want to say.
Oh, yeah. Yes. A resort sponsor.
Sure.
Yes.
But you had a lady that was with you.
She would chase me around the contest and try to get me to wear a sweatshirt before I would go on camera.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. And then when like at the X Games when I like for the Vert event, when I went to go get my trophy, she chased me with it and was like, wear this. It's like, no.
In front of everybody. Wear this.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean,
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Holding it?
She was holding it like not like wrapped up.
Not like, hey.
Almost like, here, look, it fits. Here you go. Yeah.
And everyone looks and goes, oh, yeah. Like, because that's, to me, other skateboarders see that and go, oh, yeah, you got to put it on your freaking resort T-shirt. Like,
yeah, I didn't.
I know, but it's, she doesn't realize that you're setting me up to fail. Like, don't wave that.
I had so many instances with her.
Because I feel like you're the one out of all of us that had big corporate sponsors which knew less about
but for the most
skateboarding.
Part, they all let me do my thing and they trusted me to
but every now and then they
stickers
didn't.
On my helmet, stuff like that. What's that?
But every now and then they did not.
Well, every now and then they just had someone that's way too overzealous, trying to get the, like, I was working with I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but I was working with a food brand, and they're like, when you do interviews, we need you to mention us more. I'm like, but they're not asking about that. Like, well, maybe
how do you feel about your last contest ride? Well, let me tell you, these sandwiches helped me do this today. It's kind of like
it wasn't sandwiches, but yes,
I'm just trying to not rat anybody. So
yeah, I mean, and we're talking about 20 years ago, but yeah, for sure. And there was a time where I actually I clapped back because I was like, it wouldn't come out naturally in a conversation.
Yeah,
unless they are directing the question about the food or the snack, I can't just bring it up. It looks ridiculous, and I wouldn't.
And nobody does it.
I lost the resort sponsorship because after 99 X Games, I announced that I wasn't going to compete anymore. Even though I was doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, bigger stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're not sponsoring you anymore.
Yeah.
I said, why? Because you're not going to be in X Games. I go, well, I'm actually going to be at X Games. I'm going to be skating the special events. I'm going to be on the mic. I'm probably going to be more in the X Games than you've seen. They're like, yeah, but you're not competing. So we're pulling.
They didn't even know. That's not.
So that was in 1999. They were like, nah.
They didn't get it, which I feel like happens a lot.
But I actually had that conversation with that same woman. I was just like, but I'm going to do this big tour. You guys could have your name. You could be the title sponsor to the tour.
Yeah.
And we're going to play arenas. Like, this is a big deal. And they were just so tunnel vision about X. It was only X Games. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, X Games was their conduit to the youth demographic or whatever it was.
They didn't sponsor somebody else, right?
No.
Right, because nobody had the outside of the X Games star power, only you. And they were like, well, if you're not going to compete, you don't realize the words coming out of your mouth. Like, well, then get the guy that I beat last year and see how that works out for you. Because it's not the same.
I pulled a few pretty. I did some favors, so I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't really. It wasn't like I pulled a scam, but they were going to offer these free vacations, family vacations.
Yeah.
And so my friend, who was an okay vert skater in his day, they don't know anyone, right?
Yeah.
The people that were put in this, the people that were giving us a vacation, and there was a ramp at the resort.
Okay.
And they were like, we want you to do demos during the week.
Yeah.
Or maybe one or two. I was like, cool. Can I bring my friend? He's a pro skater.
Yeah.
He hadn't skated in like 5 years. But he knew how to skate vert.
Yeah.
And his family. And they're like, oh, yeah, great. Because they don't know anyone.
Right.
And so I was like, you got to practice. Like, you got to practice look like you're doing. And he did.
And pulled it off.
I mean, we did 2 half-hour.
Just you two?
Just us two. We did 2 half-hour demos for everyone that was staying at the place.
Yeah.
He held his own. It was fine.
To not skate for 5 years and then do demos with Tony Hawk, just you and Tony Hawk.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about however, 100, 200 people that would just happen to be there.
And they weren't skateboard people.
No.
Right.
No. And they had a resident inliner at the camp.
Oh, joy.
Because it was the inline days. So they had a resident inliner at the camp that was like a teacher for kids if they wanted to come. So he joined us too. He was fine. Like it was worth that for all expenses paid vacation for their family, our family.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that worked out.
It worked out, yeah. Did I pull a fast one? I don't know. Everyone was happy.
I don't know. If he made some aerials and everybody cheered, that's done.
Yeah.
Man. You can't be like, oh man, he's not doing
the
latest.
I think he did back solid, did an invert. It's a demo.
Who are you talking about? Man, I'm so desperate to know now. It's such a pressure cooker situation, though. Like for you, sure, no problem. And you're like, even if you did a couple airs and fell off most of the time, be like, dude, you held your own. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But him, all these people, I just know from being a skateboarder, like if I'm doing a demo now, I'd be like, man, I'm not that good anymore. You know what I mean? I got to kind of like fool people into belonging here.
Were you at the thing when they did the Spike TV? I think it was the Video Game Awards in Vegas, and we brought the whole ramp there.
No.
So we were booked to be a segment in the Spike TV Video Game Awards, and it was supposed to be the whole Huck Jam crew and one of our crazy routines. That was going to be one of the main things of the show because they were doing Video Game Award. Our game won an award.
But it was going to be just one line, right?
One line, yeah.
So you had to make it.
Like it's one. It was our long one. It was like a minute long. It's 5 skaters, 4 BMXers, all flying over and under and stuff, whatever. That was when I broke my pelvis. I broke my pelvis like 6 weeks before it.
Man, you just always keep skating, huh?
No, I didn't skate.
Oh, okay.
I knew then that was one of the first things to drop when I broke my pelvis. I was like, oh, I can't do that Vegas thing. And they were like, we're putting too much behind this. It has to happen. So Jesse Fritsch replaced me.
I love Jesse. That's anybody's going to replace you. That's tough.
But I was like, Jesse, I had to, I told him, I gave him the breakdown. I was like, all you got to do is be in the play. You don't have to do any of the tricks that I did.
Right.
You just got to be in the right place, the right time. Just watch everyone else. And
he was not on this tour beforehand. So he has to learn a thing that all the rest of them know.
I gave him the video, had him watch it over and over.
So much pressure.
Went with him like before everyone else got there for practice. And I was just like, all right. I stood on the deck with them, like, here's the line, there, channel this, look for Lincoln, look for Matt, do.
That's
he
so
nailed
much pressure. He did it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, he's an athlete. But that is, man, that's a lot of pressure.
And now I remember that was my first night of walking without a help.
Oh, okay. So you were nowhere near skateboarding?
No.
All right.
No. And so when I introduced the segment, I was sitting at a table and then I just like stood up in place. I was like, ladies and gentlemen, Boomer Huck Jam. And I sat down.
Nice.
It worked.
That's a way more relaxing situation for you. But poor Jesse. Did he have to get BMX dudes to jump over him as well?
Yeah, everyone was in it.
Yeah. Do you ever get more nervous about BMX doubles than skateboard doubles?
Not with that crew.
Right, because they just had it down.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean, and for the most part, anyone that I'm riding with, they're blasting.
Right, they're
You
way
have
higher.
so much room.
Yep, good point.
You could do a ho-ho under them.
Right, it's just hitting a guy on a bike is.
Yeah. Well, I hit
you
Rick
done that?
Thorne. Yeah. Rick Thorne, I collided.
I don't know about in the air.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
fucked up?
He just didn't go high enough.
Oh,
We were riding a different ramp, and we had this little routine that we would do, and the ramp was slow. He'd never ridden it. He got a low landing on the air
and
before.
just committed anyway.
And just went, and but also, I should be able to recognize that he wasn't getting the kind of speed, but I was just in the mode.
So you
And
stood
so-
up on it.
I think so. Yeah, I want to say I did lip slide, and we just boom, but he got the worst of it.
What hit you?
He hit me. He was going over me.
So if you're doing a lip slide, his bike comes to your chest.
Yeah, but I think that I can't remember how it worked. There's a sequence of it.
Okay.
Like we have a sequence. Someone was on the deck shooting. It was
Yeah.
during that gigantic skate park tour.
Yeah. And
So-
then how? And then so you
So
get
he,
hit?
he got pitched to the flat.
Okay. Right.
I managed to hit some wall. I was kind of backwards, but I managed to get some transition so I could slide down.
Did the bike hit you or did he hit you?
Both, but I didn't get anything like it wasn't bad.
It's crazy. I did that to somebody, not on purpose, but a younger person that was always talking. He was a very confident young lad, and he was, running his mouth about, it's his ramp now, or so I can't remember, but I was like, "Shut up, dickhead!" And then we both drop in and do airs together, and I see that he's not going to get off, and I'm like, "Okay."
Here I come.
Yeah, so I go towards him and he came towards me. He's a very confident man. So we're in the air coming towards each other and I was like, I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And he landed on the flat from like a 6-foot fronted air and he was pretty bummed out at me,
Wow.
but he was fine. But I remember thinking it was pretty funny.
I think I told the story, but I ran directly into Lee Ralph in the air.
That's the worst skateboard. Him and Ben Schroeder. Are
Yeah,
the two.
that's it. Those are the
Was
Hulks.
this a doubles ride?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
now I know why. Yeah, because he doesn't listen
he
to
doesn't
anybody.
know, right.
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like,
That sounds
yeah.
good. Drop in and just
so
smash
I was
in.
like, okay, you're gonna go under me. Oh yeah. All right, yeah. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm like, you're going under. Yeah. And then we drop in, and I see him pump, and I was like, that doesn't look good,
yeah.
And then we both launch into the air, heading straight towards each other. Luckily, we were not. I think we were already kind of arced,
Okay.
so we kind of fell, like crashed together, tumbled together.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he pitched me out,
Yeah.
but it was super dangerous. He's huge.
Yeah. He's a heavy guy.
Yeah. But I remember thinking I remember taking off and him taking off going, I am running into Lee Ralph
Yeah.
right now. Like this is your worst nightmare as a professional skateboarder on the half pipe is running straight into Lee Ralph.
I love that guy, but I would never do doubles with him because I would think that a part of him would think that it would be really funny if we both ate shit.
No, we were in New Zealand. It was Bones Brigade tour. He was
Okay.
so excited that we
Okay.
were there on his home turf.
Okay.
He was just amped.
Right.
Yeah. And we came down laughing. I was like, yeah, you're supposed to go under.
I wasn't listening.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome slave. Should have seen your face.
I don't think we did it again.
Why would you?
I did doubles with another guy just a couple years ago. He wanted me, this guy in Brazil, I already talked about this, but this guy in Brazil wanted me to go over him on an invert. He could do inverts.
Yeah.
Older guy.
But he brought it up.
Yes.
You're
Through a
at the ramp.
translator.
You're at the ramp. He's there.
We're
and
in a full demo, huge demo in Sao Paulo.
Is he really good or not that good?
No, I mean, he can do little airs and inverts and stuff. He's
Is
an
he
older dude, like older 80s vert guy, but still skating, still going, probably in his late 50s.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So is he doing it more because it'd be cool to do doubles with
Yes,
Tony Hawk?
and he wants
right.
a photo.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And so,
And
I
you
said-
accommodate people that ask.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
But what I didn't take into consideration is that he never hit the same spot twice.
On a hand plant.
on hand plan.
He could never hit the same
so
spot.
every time that I'm anticipating where he's going to be, he's over here, or he's over here, and I go, look, just aim for that. And when finally
That's
I watched
not that
him,
difficult.
I know it was
to do
a
hand
hard.
plant in
And
the
so
same
finally
spot.
I watched him. I go, look, just hit this seam right here.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. And then he's one sheet over. And then I realized that he's more consistently almost hitting the other sheet over. And so I was like, yeah, just do what you're doing. And then I aim for that one.
And he goes back to the spot that you're at.
No, we finally got it.
Okay.
But there were a couple where.
Wait, you did it?
There were a couple where like, he's supposed to be right here. He's here. And I'm doing an air. I'm like.
You're going to land on
or
him.
Not even in the same zone.
Right.
We're like two separate worlds.
You'd think somebody that asked to do doubles with Tony Hawk would be equipped to do doubles.
I think it was the same thing. He was just so excited he wasn't focused on that. There needs to be some very specific precise areas.
It's just lack of respect as far as I'm concerned. I've been
No,
involved in doubles with you.
Like he was when we did it, he was so excited.
Right. So he's got a photo for the rest of his life.
Yeah, but I mean, he really was like, it was emotional. He was super stoked. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was stoked that we figured it out.
That's awesome. But you should always, when I do doubles, I always think about the other person more than anything else.
Oh, well, I mean, whenever, especially when we have young kids here and they want to do something, I always say, just do what you're going to do. I will get out of your way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do not adjust for me.
Right.
And don't panic. If you see me coming close, like I got it.
Were you there when Bob hit Shaun White?
Yes.
That was pretty bad,
That was bad. Yeah. MTV Music Awards, Austin, 98.
Whose idea was that?
Whose idea was it?
Yeah.
We were doing a doubles event. It was a doubles event.
So they'd been skating together the whole time?
Wall. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When Shaun came to, I mean, it was gnarly. It was so gnarly. He was out for stiff.
He was like 12 or something too, right?
Yeah. I think he was younger than that.
Jesus.
And he missed a wall. He was supposed to, I think, wait for Bob or something, or they were supposed to stop and do something. He kept going and Bob was already in the air and didn't going blind.
Yeah.
So they collided as Bob was coming down and Shaun was going up, or the vice versa. So the most force you could possibly hit with. KO'd. Bob's trying to pick him up. He didn't know what to do. He's like trying to pick him up, and so they finally got him. I remember he came back to the event that night because it was huge.
Shaun did?
Shaun did, yeah. They had Wu-Tang play at the event. It was a big deal. Shaun came back to the event, and he looked like a caricature, a character in an 80s sitcom with like ridiculous casts on. You know what I mean? Where they exaggerate.
On?
He broke both wrists.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He got knocked out and broke both wrists.
He got jacked. It was bad.
And Bob picked him up.
Dude. That ended the event. We were all like, I think that was like one of the first doubles events, and Andy and I were just about to go, and it was like, this is over.
That ended the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
The cover, side note, the cover of the very first THPS video game of me doing indie air stiffy is from that event.
Right. But that's the only photo from that event?
Yeah.
Wow. Was that dramatic? Everyone, did it end the dent like nobody skated?
Yeah, it was over.
Everyone was like, nah.
Yeah.
I get that. It's like when a guy gets hurt real bad, it's very hard to want to keep skateboarding. But when a kid gets hurt, it's like
and that was Shaun's first public event, big, where people knew his name and
oh shit,
they were like, oh, look at this kid skating vert, it's crazy, and then
wiped out.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, I'm just glad it wasn't me hitting somebody little. It's not his fault, obviously.
Right.
Like, and the way you're explaining it, it's Shaun's fault. But just hitting.
But I remember that was when Shaun came back to the event with this crazy cast sticking out both ways.
Was he still pumped? Like
he's like, oh man, I blew it.
Right.
He's like, oh, Bob told me to wait. I didn't wait. Like them's the breaks.
Right. So he wasn't emotionally scarred for the rest of his life from that horrific slam
No.
like some children would be.
No, not at all.
How was Bob?
Bob was a wreck.
Right?
A wreck.
I bet.
Yeah.
I could see that real. Bob's a sweetheart.
Yeah, and always happy. And I mean, he told me about it later where it was, he was in a depression.
Right. Poor Bob.
Yeah.
He didn't do it.
But
I could see how you felt like, I mean, for a second there, you might have looked like you killed him.
yeah.
Like a little kid being out.
Yeah.
There's nothing
And
worse.
then those are in the days where, this is, I don't know, whatever it was, 97, 98. And so we didn't have safety medical protocols really for our events. They usually had
a medic, right?
They had an ambulance on site, but I mean, it was like in the rare occasion that someone got hurt. There was no, I mean, it's like when they let Jake walk off the ramp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would
I was
not
there before
happen,
they were.
but that would not happen today.
I knew the people that were, the medical attention that arrived for Jake Brown's slam were more in shock than I was.
Right.
And I was like, I was like, he wasn't breathing. Then he was breathing and he wasn't awake. Now he's awake and he wants to know how many rides he's got. So he's still Jake. He's got his brain, but I don't think anybody should pick him up yet.
Right.
And then next thing you know, it's like, pick him up. And I've got his arm around me.
Yeah.
And I'm carrying him off the ramp. And everyone's like, yeah, Jakey. And I'm like, yeah, Jakey, but
Yeah, this shouldn't be happening.
it was 15 seconds ago where I thought my friend died.
Yeah.
Like I'll never forget it. His nose was smushed because his face was on the flat.
Yeah.
And his eyes were wide open. And there was no breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, no. And then he went, and I'm like, oh, he's alive. But he's still out. And I'm like, this is still like, I thought for sure that he broke his back or something like that. And then skateboard doctor, like, I'm like, you feel that? You feel that? Like I'm touching his foot. Yeah. You'll be all right. And I'm like, can you move it? And he's like,
yeah, you're not paralyzed, I guess. No, that was reckless. I mean, it wasn't your fault. It was just it was reckless because there was no protocol.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you for it. It was just like there was nothing that they had set in motion that we were still the dregs of the the action, whatever, the sports world. So it was just like, they get hurt.
I also feel like there was injury. It's weird because I know medical people. I know a guy that it was an ambulance guy, and he tells stories where they're just the most shocking stories I've ever heard in my life. So as far as I'm concerned, he's seen it all. But I think he's also a surfer and understands us more. But it's weird to see them not get the injury.
The severity.
Yeah. Like where they're like, well, what do you usually do when you fall like that? And I'm like, well, you can't ask me.
Yeah.
Like, you should know.
That was the word. I was on the mic. I still get shit because it was just dead air. Like it was, they're filming him. And obviously we're all frightened for the worst. Yeah. And we're on the mic and it was just like, I don't know what to say. Yeah. And then I think I said something like, oh man, it was amazing. He made that 720. He'd never made a 720 over the gap. Yeah. And so because I said that, people gave me so much shit.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I had no guidance. I didn't know what to do. Yeah. And I'm just trying to fill air, but it was so weird. Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, I obviously shouldn't have said that, but we were put in this position that was impossible. Yeah. And they weren't cutting. They weren't cutting to a commercial. I was like, you guys are showing,
they weren't cutting. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this is just, snuff cam. Like, what? Yeah. Let's break here.
I don't think they mind, honestly.
That was rough.
Yeah, that was one of the gnarliest things, maybe the gnarliest thing I've ever seen in skateboarding, but just Jakey's attitude, I think made it unscarred me from it because I thought he died and then I thought he was a paraplegic and then I was like, wait, he's not even that hurt? Yeah. And then his angle on it where it like before he got up.
He was the best.
He was still on the ground, like with no shoes on, asking me how many rides I've got left. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I think you're done for the day. Yeah. He's like, well, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. Are you sure? I'll play it for you later, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'll play it for you. And everyone's going to play it later.
For the rest of your life, over and over again.
Every network.
And then
You're going to go look it up right now.
right, and then that
Just
night,
to remind yourself, because you've seen it already. We know you've seen it already.
But the best part, the bit that made me feel the most at ease was when I got back to my room and I'm kind of still just like, I'm like, am I a soldier now? Like, are we in a sport where we're talking about dying?
Mm-hmm.
And then I hear, doof, 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 and I'm like, that's Jakey's room.
Jake's room. Yeah, that's pretty sick.
And I knock on the door and there he is with a cigarette and a drink by himself. He's got away from all medical attention and he's got because he brought his turntables, always did. So he's got his turntables and his speakers and I knock on the door and he opens the door. Oh, Jace, come on in, mate. And I walk in, I'm like, you by yourself? He's like, yeah. I'm like, so what's the injury? He's like, I said a lacerated kidney and a lacerated lungs. And I'm like, and you drinking and smoking a cigarette?
Oh
and he's like, but it made me feel, he's fine.
That's the best. All right. That's the best ending right there. Jake, we love you, Jake.
Yeah, love you, Jakey. We're going to get him on.
Let's get him on.
I'd love to hear
Tell that story.
Yeah, if he remembers it.
All right. Like, describe, and be safe. See ya.